This is Nintendo's Donkey Kong Jr., the 1982 arcade sequel to Donkey Kong, and this was ported to the ColecoVision system in 1983. And you can see we have a standard ColecoVision cart, and it's nice seeing the Nintendo logo on a non-Nintendo product. It's kind of cool. But anyhow, on with the review. As you can see by now, Donkey Kong Jr. is a platformer. And by platformer, we mean you control a character that runs and jumps and does all kinds of things revolving around floating platforms. And it's pretty standard fare for the early 80s as far as arcade games were concerned. There were a couple basic styles, and Nintendo seemed to really do well with the platformer thing. They had massive success with Donkey Kong, which is generally regarded as the first platformer. And so they had a follow-up sequel. And you're looking at it. So the general premise is this. You are controlling Donkey Kong Jr., that little monkey guy you see moving all around, climbing vines and what have you. And Mario, up at the top there with the little red hat on, has captured your father, Donkey Kong. And your job is to free him. And consequently, this is the first and only time you'll see Mario as portrayed as the bad guy or the enemy in a video game. It's an interesting little side note. So you move Donkey Kong Jr. all around. Your control stick on the ColecoVision controls his movements and climbing. And there's two buttons on the Coleco controller, but they both do the same thing in this game, and that's jump. And that's about it for gameplay. A little side note, when you're climbing vines or chains or whatever you can climb that's like vine-like, when you're going up, you go up twice as fast if you're holding on two vines, with one in each hand, but you go down slower in this fashion. And if you go down on a single vine or chain, you go down much faster, twice as fast, I believe. So it takes a little strategizing to avoid all your enemies, whether you're going up or down or on one vine or two, to vary your speed. The arcade version of Donkey Kong Jr. Had 4 stages. The ColecoVision version has only 3. But that's not such a bad thing. Many ports at the time can only handle enough memory to do 2 stages, and many arcade games had 3 or 4 stages. So they just took the 2 best that would represent the game to its fullest and went with them. So it's not a complete port because it only has 3 stages instead of 4. But it's closest thing you can get in 1983, to be honest, without actually buying an arcade game. So as you can see, the Coleco is being used to its pretty much fullest potential here. It's got some great graphics and sound. The music was pretty phenomenal for video game systems at the time. Games like Atari can only handle a couple of tones and maybe one noise with a noise generator. This is like full on, has a full on soundtrack. So yeah, pretty impressive. Oh, and if you're wondering what to do with those pieces of fruit that are hanging from the vines or the chains, you're supposed to touch them and knock them off of the vine or chain and take out an enemy with them. You score extra points doing that. But it's pretty difficult to do, actually. It's not required to pass a stage, but it does give you a nice points bonus. But like I said, it's not very easy to do. And I think it's pretty interesting to look back at some of these early Nintendo games and see how they really took a couple of ideas and ran with them in the future games he came out with, like the Super Mario Brothers series. You can see a lot of germs of ideas in these, like the springboards and moving platforms and things like that. It's pretty interesting. So if you own a ColecoVision, by all means pick up Donkey Kong Jr. It's really the kind of thing that you own a Coleco for, is these classic arcade titles. And that's about it. I'm your host, Dommy, for Classic Games Revisited. Until next time.